this concept of the project was prompted by that, to try and answer how farmers could satisfy the quality requirements from the market. But we also thought it was important that these farmers do it here at home under their environment, and it becomes a learning point as well. So basically the feedlot is addressing 4 things, if not 5. The first one is that, like I have said, it's a school for local farmers to learn how to manage feedlots. So there's technical knowledge and skills development that was part of the inception of this project. And then the second thing is the farmers were taught farming as a business. And also they were taught how to organize themselves and lead themselves, institutional capacity building. And then the other thing is that the feedlot has a link with the markets. These farmers, some of them had not even met the people they are selling cattle to.
Who were they selling to then?
They were selling to various buyers, mainly from urban areas, and their situation was more of a price taker, because they would go to these selling points. It's an auction. They don't even argue about price. They just become a price taker. So the idea also was to build new relationships between the farmers and these buyers, and what we could call inclusive business. And then the other thing was that the farmers were not, or they were lacking finance to buy feed, to buy veterinary medicines, so that they can either treat their animals as well as feed them. So in the package of the feedlot, all these things were incorporated. The credit facility for feed supply was done with the abattoirs, who had in turn credibility with the feed suppliers. So they would provide that credit facility, allow the farmers to come and feed their animals in the feedlot. And when the farmers sell to them, then they pay off whatever costs would have been accrued around feedlotting. So it works like that. We could say it has got the animal itself, which comes from the farmer. It has got feed, which comes from the feed suppliers through the abattoir. It has got capacity building in terms of technical knowledge and skills. It has also institutional capacity building, so that they form groups and work as a group for accessing input and output markets. What has changed is that the other important thing that we should have mentioned is that these farmers are facing a serious drought here, which is now recurring almost every year. Some of them will tell you only 1 year in 10 years or 1 year in 5 years is a successful year. In other words, it has got rain. So these farmers are facing a problem of grazing, and this feedlot is providing them with an option that if grazing is not available, they put the animals in the feedlot, and then they feed them, improve their quality and sell. But also in that credit facility, I should have mentioned that it allows the farmers to access feed, to feed animals at home, so that the breeding stock survives, continues to breed, and then it becomes a future source of supply. So basically this is how it works, and I think what has changed is that they have another option now, in addition to grazing, and secondly, they have established new relationships with agribusinesses, and thirdly, they have received money into their pockets, better prices than before. That is what has changed. One aspect of this model is that it is trying to bypass some of the people in between the farmer and let's say the consumer. Although the farmer at the moment is not getting to the consumer, but is getting closer to the consumer, so the margins are improved. The price, when we started, we did a survey of what the prices, the ruling prices were commonly received by these farmers around this area. And if I remember my figures well, the average price was around $298 per animal. But when we brought this model, for those farmers who had not committed their cattle to also feeding those at home, in other words, bringing them for feeding and then selling straight, the average was well above $600. And I think it made a big difference to farmers' income.